Have you ever felt lost, stuck, or just not quite yourself? Like you don't quite fit into your old life, but you're also not really sure who you're becoming. You're kind of floating in this in-between space. If that's you right now, I want you to hear this. You are not alone. You are not the only one going through this. And also, this is not a failure. This is just a transition. And today we're going to talk all about why feeling lost is actually a sign of growth and how we can move through this phase with a little bit more clarity and ease. If we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. The reason you feel disconnected right now is because an old version of you is fading away and you're not yet your new version. And that old version that's going away makes you feel really uncomfortable because that is your comfort zone. But the truth is, if you think about it, you're not meant to stay the same, right? Imagine if you were the same person that you were 10 years ago. You wouldn't be happy. It would be kind of weird if you were the same person that you were 10 years ago. And growth requires letting go of those old versions of ourselves. And that in between space is not a failure. It's actually transformation. And it's actually the sign that you are actually growing. A lot of times we feel lost because we're clinging on to a label that no longer fits, right? And maybe that's the label of daughter or mother or perfect or artist or responsible, right? It doesn't matter what the label is, but it might just not fit anymore, right? You might have had a label for yourself that was that you're disorganized, and now you're like, actually, I kind of got my stuff together. So that doesn't fit anymore. And when that title feels off, it can feel like you're broken, but you're not. You're not broken. You're just evolving. And I want to give you a small action step that you can take to prove this to yourself. You're going to grab a journal and you're going to write on a piece of paper, I used to be someone who, and you're going to fill in that blank with whatever comes to mind. You can write a little bit, you can write a lot, it doesn't matter, just write out everything that comes to mind. And then you're going to write, now I'm becoming someone who, and fill that out. This allows you to give yourself a little peek into who you were and who you're becoming or want to become, which allows you to then let go of who you were and embrace more of who you want to become. I also want us to recognize that, especially if we're perfectionists, a lot of feeling that loss, like I'm stuck, I'm lost, I'm not sure where to go, comes from having a lack of certainty in the things that we're doing. And that lack of certainty makes us want to control external circumstances that we can't control. And I made a whole video about that, about the circle of control. So if you want to go watch that after this video, I will link it in the description. But we want to have perfect clarity on all the things. And honestly, we just need to trust ourselves a little bit more. The amount of bad days that you've survived is 100%. The amount of good days that you've survived is 100%. The amount of good decisions you've survived, 100%. The amount of bad decisions you've survived, 100%. So it's time that we have a little bit more grace and trust in ourselves that we will figure it out if something doesn't go 100% according to plan, right? Because clarity actually follows action, which is not what we want to hear, but the clarity does come from the doing. It comes from the action. So with that said, your small action step number 2 of the day is to pick one tiny thing that you can do this week that gets you closer to that version of yourself that you want to be. So this could be a new food, a new hairstyle, a new hobby, a new outfit, anything that you think brings you a little bit closer. Now, if you're brave and you want to be held accountable, put it in the comments below and I will check in with you in 1 week. The other thing that makes us feel lost, ironically, is trying to find ourselves. We're constantly trying to find ourselves. And we talk so much about finding ourselves and not enough about building ourselves. You need to give yourself permission to do things without having it all figured out, just allowing yourself to play with the possibilities, explore your curiosity, follow those rabbit holes. A lot of times, what stops us from doing that are the beliefs we have about ourselves, about who we are, and about what we're allowed or not allowed to do. So, small action step number 3 is to do a reverse belief list. So you're going to write down, like take a few minutes, divide a piece of paper in half, and write down all the things you used to believe about yourself that you no longer resonate with. For example, I used to be disorganized, right? I used to be irresponsible. I used to be blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be a positive, it can be a negative. All those things are subjective, but just write them down. And then on the other side of the paper, I want you to write down the new beliefs that you want to resonate with and or are already working on resonating with and or you already resonate with. So this will give you a little bit of a push and it will show you who you want to become and all the things you've also already gotten over. Even if you don't feel it yet, your future self is already forming. The fact that you feel lost or stuck, the fact that you're even thinking about any of this is actually a good sign. And instead of saying, oh, I don't know who I am, I want you to say, I am becoming a new version of myself, and that's exciting. That's great. Insert positive adjective or association feeling here. Because it is exciting to become a new version of ourselves. And even if it's uncomfortable for a little bit, we'll soon find the comfort in that newer version. Now, if this resonated with you, I would love to know in the comments, what's the tiny action that you're going to take this week? If there's any part of this video that hit home the most, let me know as well. I also make new videos like this every single Friday, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.